Hey guys, it's Doc, and I just wanted to tell you I had talked about dropping Absolute Wonder Woman with issue 14, but I actually ended up picking that up. But that's not what I was going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the book, but I'm not going to do one of my reviews like I normally do. Instead, I wanted to ask you, have you ever read a book, and it can be a comic book, it can be some other kind of book. I still got my visitor's pass on. Wife's coming home from rehab tomorrow, folks. So that's good news. Excellent news. So, have you ever read a book and the deeper you get into it, the more you like it? It just talks to your sensibilities. It plays to your strengths as a reader. One of the favorite books of mine is The Ruins by Scott Smith. And I think he did A Simple Plan as well. And I didn't like the movie because once I heard Ben Stiller's name was attached to it, I just lost all relevance. But this book was about a bunch of college kids who went down to Central America on a, summer vacation. And when they get down there, they meet up with a friend, and he says, hey, why don't you guys come with me and some friends of mine, and we'll go explore this old Incan temple. Incan, Mayan, one of those two. And when they get there, then the friends kind of back off as the other students go up to the top of the temple. And once they're there, they're trapped because they can't leave. And the trick is that some sentient vines start striking them. And when they strike them, one of the guys, I'll never forget this, one of the guys said that he felt like something was crawling inside of him, something was moving inside of him. It just kind of gives you the willies. And he starts cutting himself open to try to find whatever little seed pods or whatever it is that he feels have been injected into him. And he ends up dying eventually because he bleeds himself out because they tie him up one night and somehow he gets free, and when he starts cutting, he just goes to town and eventually he dies. But some books like that just suck you in. They pull you into the narrative, and you can't help but fall in love with them. And Absolute Wonder Woman, like I have said multiple times before, to me is the strongest of all the Absolute titles. The overall diehardness, absurdity of Batman was too much for me. Then Absolute Superman seemed like Jason Aaron was going to get on his pulpit and preach to me with the bully pulpit. I'm not here for that. Absolute Green Lantern, Al Ewing tried to turn the IP on its head, but I have zero interest in JoJo Mullins, and I'm sorry, but Hal Jordan is my Green Lantern. Kyle Rayner a close second. But that book just didn't speak to me. It didn't make any sense. And so I gave up on that one after one issue. I at least gave Batman and Superman 4 issues apiece to try to talk to me. But this book here understands the mission that Diana has been sent to do on Earth. She is here to build trust through force, if necessary, between humankind, superkind, and the gods. And through this story, through this two-parter, the first part of it, she said that she felt like it was an inverse mirror of herself. So for all of the good that this Diana does, the other thing that she was fighting through the entirety of issue 13 that she couldn't seem to kill, she felt it was an evil, dark mirror version of herself. Something that, for all the good that was done, then evil came in and destroyed that. It was a balancing. And the artwork, this is written, of course, by Kelly Thompson, but the artwork by Mateus Bergera, it reminds me a lot of Hayden Sherman. It's really amazing artwork. It is impactful, as you can see. It's detailed, but at the same time, it moves quickly enough that you don't feel as though you're trapped within a slow-moving book. It moves along at a good clip. It really does. And through all of this, she learns more about herself. She learns more about the life giver, Gaia. And Gaia says, it's scary to preach to me because I am the Mother Earth. And in a moment of absolute clarity, she says, yes, but sometimes the closer you are to some things, then the harder it is to see the reality of them. And so in the end, Gaia says, if you will fight a darkness. She says, you were right, Diana of Themyscira. Something is wrong in the world, and has been for a very long time, maybe since the very beginning. There's darkness I do not quite understand. Raise your eyes to me, Princess of Hell, and stand. You will fight this darkness. You will give your life in my name. And so she says, with pleasure, so be it. And Gaia creates these two hands from which it looks like the darkness and Diana are going to fight again, but Gaia intercedes and destroys this darkness and sucks it down into herself. So Diana didn't have to die like she thought she was going to have to at the beginning of the issue, but instead she becomes almost one with Gaia, with the Mother Earth. So this is admittedly a somewhat feminine story about feminine characters, but it's also a story that has a lot of heart. It's of all the absolute titles, I think this changes Diana physically the most, while changing the core of the character physically the least. Batman is 7 feet tall and an engineer for the city of Gotham. Superman is practically an outsider or a dreamer, if you will. Diana is really who she has always been. And like I said, Kelly Thompson understands the message that she is trying to spread to the world, and she understands who Diana overall is supposed to be. I read a Silver Surfer story one time, and the coroner had put the Silver Surfer into kind of a dream state, a fugue state. And in the end, Tenebrae, who was the other villain with the coroner, said he's shifting through realities. He's coming back to this reality. And the coroner and Tenebrae had a conversation, and she said, even if we folded him worlds upon worlds upon worlds away from reality, he would find his way back. And that's kind of how I feel about this Wonder Woman book, is no matter what physical differences you see in this character or ideological differences you might see in this character, it seems like she is point on and has her finger right on the trigger of what makes Diana tick and what makes people interested in Diana. So each issue I read of this book, the more I like it. Now, as far as a true superhero story, like a Spider-Man story or a Captain America story, it's not like that. I'm not going to say it's quite literature-like Helen of Windhorn was, but it scratches a literary itch that I really enjoy digging into. And through that, it helps me enjoy this book more and more each month. So that's my recommendation, guys. Not just for Absolute Wonder Woman, but find something that you love. Find a property that speaks to you. Find something that if you want to grow mentally, if you want to grow spiritually, find something that speaks to you so that you can go and find peace when you read these books. You shouldn't have more chaotic thought. You shouldn't have stress. You shouldn't be tired when you read your comics. You should enjoy it. You should really, really enjoy it. So I hope that you guys are reading this book so that it gets to continue on for a very long time. But if not, go out there and find whatever it is that is your flavor of ice cream and go out there and read it and enjoy the heck out of it. Thanks for joining me, guys. I've got plenty more content coming up. But for right now, you guys go have a wonderful day, and I'll catch up with you later.